Time now to sit back and enjoy the action as Viktoria Plzeň against Rangers in Champions League qualifying with Stephen Thompson and Liam McLeod.
Rangers in the Dusan Arena for the second leg and hoping to get through to the playoffs and then move just one step away from the league phase of the Champions League, which is where they want to be. It's where the money is, it's where the prestige is. It's where the tough tests lie as well, of course, but that's where everyone wants to be, and Rangers fighting to get there and to try and make amends for their last attempt at the Champions League proper, when they and Viktoria Plzeň put in record-breaking performances in that season's tournament at the same time, but not in a good way. So they put together two of the worst campaigns ever seen in the top competition in this continent, as James Tavernier, who returns to the side today, exchanges handshakes and pennants with the Plzeň skipper Mataj Vidra, the former Burnley striker. Rangers in this wonderful position, 3-0 up ahead of this second leg. So, odds on that they go through. Their record in the Czech Republic is played 6, drawn twice, lost 4. They've only scored once. The only Rangers player to score in this country was Filip Helander when he did so against Sparta Prague. And we're about 45 miles away from the capital here in Plzeň, and it will be Rangers to kick off. We're in the main stand to the right of the halfway line. Rangers in one of their change kits, mostly white with the red and blue across the chest and shoulders, and they will go left to right with Plzeň in the blue and red. They were so poor last week, last season's Czech runners-up. They surely can't be as bad as that again. But even if they do up the ante, Rangers have that cushion. Referee Simon Marcinat, the pole gets things underway, and it's Raskin who passes it all the way back to Butland, the Rangers keeper, midway inside his own half. It's a long right foot ball out towards that left-hand side, but it drops into touch over there, and that will be a throw-in to Plzeň, level with their own 18-yard line. 6-time Czech champions, most recently in 21-22. And they've in fact won all 6 of their titles in the last 14 years. They are relative newcomers to success. Made their European debut in 71-72 in the Cup Winners' Cup, a competition Rangers went on to win, as Ant-Man plays it in low to the Plzeň box, looking for the underlapping Tavernier, cut out by Dway, and then picked up here in the midfield by Adu, but the referee has stopped play because Mohamed Diamonde is sitting on the deck. Stephen Thompson.
Yeah, are we calling him Prince or are we calling him Adu, just so I'm clear as we move forward in the rest of the commentary?
UEFA calling him Adu, so let's do that,
I'll
shall we?
change my notes. There we go. Adu. Diomande just got clattered a wee bit in an aerial challenge, but he's back on his feet, and the referee about to drop the ball, but back to Plzeň to get the game restarted.
It's back with the goalkeeper here, Jedlicka, wearing the face mask. He did miss the first leg, or at least didn't start the first leg last week. Long ball out to the far side. Goes out to play for a Rangers throw-in with Jefty over on that left flank. And Suter and Giga at the centre point of the Rangers defence. Again, Giga sent off against Dundee on Saturday, but clearly eligible for this one.
Yeah, I've liked the look of Giga. I think he's been one of the plus points for Rangers in the early part of this season. He sent it off on Saturday. It was unlucky, but he had to be sent off, obviously, last man, but he was unlucky because I don't think he meant it.
Adu lifting the ball towards the edge of the D. Vidra's managed to touch it back to Cherv, who can shoot from distance, and he does with the right foot, and he drags it a couple of feet wide of the left-hand post. Well, that's an early warning for Rangers there, because Cherv is more than capable of scoring from outside the box, as we saw in the Europa League playoff against Hearts in Edinburgh a year ago.
Yeah, I think he could have taken the ball a couple of yards forward when he received it. He obviously received it in a wee bit of space, saw the opportunity to get the shot away, and it was a good 25 plus yards out. It was going to be difficult. He just choked the shot, but he could have moved it forward before he took the shot on. Dessler's now on the deck as well. Looks like he's hurt his wrist.
And he's back on his feet at the moment. Raskin's under pressure. He managed to squeeze it back to Suter. Rolls it out to the left for Jefty. Then down the left touchline there for Gassama. He's had it pinched off him, and it's Vidra laying it back. And a really good recovery challenge by Jefty at the angle of the box. But Vidra still goes down the right-hand side. Gets his cross in. Butland claims with both gloves. 3 minutes in, 0-0 in the second leg.
Yeah, you're right, it was a good challenge from Jefty because it was lovely wee 1-2 on the right-hand side. Dessers is struggling here with his arm. Seems to get an awful lot of pain. And then the cross that came in looked as though it was going to be decent, but it was too close to Jack Butland, who claimed it very easily. He's in front of the ultras. I mean, every day they're in the pitch. It's very close to the pitch, isn't it? Complete opposite of when we were in Athens a couple of weeks back, when we were about 6 miles away. But it's good, you can at least see the players' numbers on their backs, but I was just wonder whether or not Dessers is...
If he's going to be able to continue here, yeah.
It looks particularly uncomfortable. Not a lot you can do if you've done something to your arm or wrist. You really need that if you're a striker holding off defenders. So this could be a concern for Rangers.
Rangers fans off to our right, enclosed into the corner of the stadium. Over on the far side, 11,700 this place holds. The pitch, the vast majority of it now is in the shade with the sunshine, the evening sunshine over on the far side.
Nice playing surface.
So it shines down on the supporters in that stand over on the far side, and Cyril Dessers is being helped off here. Well, Danilo's jogging back towards the dugout just now. And this could be a blow for Rangers, not just for tonight, but with the games coming up.
Yeah, absolutely, because, as Ian was pointing out, they're not really blessed with that many options right now. Rangers in centre-forward areas. Danilo started the season, but didn't really overly impressed. He's coming back on. We'll see how he gets on.
It's with Jack Butland sticking it out of his box as the game gets back underway, and Dessers takes his place through the middle up front, and Butland looking for an option, and no hurry. 3-0 up, and on paper Rangers cruising at the moment, but a Plzeň goal could change all that as Butland picks up in his box again and angles it out to Tavernier. First time ball in field is one in the air. The header, which is nodded forward there, ends up back with Butland. It was Yamelka who stepped up to the halfway point and nodded it through, but there was nobody in the forward areas for the hosts able to get onto it. So Butland picks up and plays it short to Suter. Do you think Suter's been doing okay on the left side?
I do. I mean, I think he kind of splits opinion from Rangers supporters. I personally think he's a really good player. I think he's improved a lot over the years. He's been asked to drive with the ball out of defence under this new regime under Russell Martin, and a couple of occasions in the games that I've watched he's been a wee bit loose with his passing. But I think in terms of defending, he's an excellent player for Rangers. Wins a lot of duels, clears the box with an awful lot of headers as well. Seems to have a good relationship with Giga.
Melka out to Adu on this near side. It's then played back to Spaccio, the left back, but he's given it away, and it's Suter picking up in the midfield, and it's been knocked out to Ant-Man on this near side by Gassama. Ant-Man's ball drifted to the left-hand side of the box. Dessers touched it back first time when he could potentially have volleyed it goal with the left foot there.
Yeah, should have done the Di Canio, shouldn't he? I mean, the diagonal ball was absolutely superb from Ant-Man, and you're just expecting him to unleash on his left foot. Yes, slightly tricky, skill to perform, but he sees the run of Diamandi and Cameron both trying to get in the box.
A yellow card for Gassama for an off-the-ball incident at the edge of the Plzeň box. Showed exactly what went on there. Rangers were in possession in an attacking position, so it's a bit of a waste in that regard.
Yeah, I was following the ball, so I didn't see it. Obviously, the player goes to the deck. The referee must have seen something to bring out the yellow card with no monitors, so I'm sure Kenny will keep us informed at half-time of anything that we miss.
Cherv picking up midway inside his own half, goes back to his keeper, takes a touch and launches it forward with the right foot into the Rangers half. The header away by Tavernier, drops at the foot of Raskin, who knocks it back to Butland. He's under pressure now, and He's a little bit panicky there as he puts it out for a throw-in. You hear the fans in the background as soon as Butland took possession of the ball. They're right on top of him, and he almost took one touch too many there.
Yeah, he did. Vidra's closing him down really quickly. He was looking for an option up the line. He just couldn't make his mind up where he wanted to put it. He takes the extra touch, and Vidra can only be inches away from nicking it off him there. Looks like a long throw is going to be dispatched here.
Yeah, Durasini with it. And it comes. Butland will claim it though at his near post as he goes to ground after a challenge there. I think it was the centre-back, Yamelka. Anyway, it's game on. And it's Rangers in possession with Jeffy over on the left, getting it from Lyle Cameron, who has kept his place in the Rangers side, having made his first start in the first leg. Out to Tavernier on this near side, long ball looking for Ant-Man, but it comes all the way through to Jedlicka. Already seen a couple of big comebacks in Champions League qualifying. Indeed, there's been comebacks from 4 goals down in the qualifying tournament this year, so it's not done yet, despite the fact Rangers are in a fabulous position as Raskin commits the foul on Cherv in the Pilsen half, and they've taken a quick free kick. It's Adu trying to slip it through to Durasini, but the flag's up over on the far side. You would expect the officials to be top-notch tonight, given they've refed at the literally the very highest level of football.
Yeah,
World Cup final, Champions League final.
Surprised to see Robin van Persie's the 4th official as well. Don't know if you've noticed.
Is that a look-alike, is it?
Oh, it's incredible.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen him yet. He's got his back to us.
Well, you'll get
I'll keep an eye out for that. It is Suter forward to Cameron, who's barged to the deck, and that will be a Pilsen free kick. It's a bit level with the edge of the centre circle in the Rangers half. We played almost 10 minutes, 0-0 in the second leg.
Rangers are going to be happy with the start that they've made. They've probably had the best opportunity. And the ball over the top to Dessers. They've been in once or twice. Pilsen, as expected, have they got the quality is the big question. I don't believe that they do, but in the 10 minutes that we've had so far, Rangers looking comfortable.
Nice little spin by Raskin on the halfway line. Gets it out to the left for Gassama. 2 around him. Inside football into Raskin, who touches it back to Jeffy, who does likewise to Suter. Forward from Suter, it almost came through to Dessers. The sliding Dway prevents it reaching the Rangers number 9. And it's back with the goalkeeper, Jedlicka, eventually out to this near side for Spaccio. Long ball looking for Durasini, but it's gone over his head, also flies over Giga's head. And it's back with Butland.
Yeah, as I said, when Pilsen are building, you're not entirely convinced that they've got the quality to go and hurt Rangers. They've been trying longer balls up to the front pairing in the air. Mostly been dealt with, but here they go.
Yeah, Adu driving at the Rangers box here, left of the D, looks to cut back onto his right side. The challenge from Raskin takes the momentum away from the attack, but the loose ball is picked up by Spaccio on the near side. His pass in field's cut out. Now it goes for a Pilsen throw-in. Level with the Rangers penalty spot. It's going to be another long one.
Yeah, and the last one did have a bit on it, to be fair. It's not the biggest pitch in the world, this, so it's not that long a throw for it to get into a dangerous area.
Durasini with it then. Goal scorer in the last round against Servette. Bowls it high in towards the 6-yard line, and Butland leaps out again, and that's the second one of those that he's managed to grab onto.
Great goalkeeping, nothing better when you're back defending a long throw or a corner and you see your keeper come and catch it cleanly, takes the pressure off everybody.
Here come Rangers up the other end. It's Gassama infield to Cameron. Dessers did make a run ahead of him, but Cameron elects to pass it back to Raskin into the centre circle for Giga. And it's the big centre back in possession again to Diamonde, and now with Raskin out to Jeffy. Central left of the centre circle, forward to Cameron, then out to Ant-Man. He's got it in behind the defender there, and Diamonde was able to get a shot at goal there, but it's blocked and behind for the corner by Yamelka. Rangers' first corner of the second leg. 0-0, they lead 3-0 in aggregate.
It was patient build-up from Rangers, and then the Pearson pass through, round the corner. out to Ant-Man, and Diomande making a great run in behind the defence. It's actually a really decent pass from Ant-Man as well, but Diomande just couldn't quite swing a leg at it. Cameron with a corner.
An outswinger with a right boot on the Rangers' right as they attack the goal to the right. In from Cameron, headed away by the first man though. It was Durasinne, and it was out for a Rangers throw-in. But midway inside Pilsen territory, and Cameron thought about taking it quickly back to Jeffy. He's been closed down though. And Cameron eventually will leave it to Tavernier. I'd be quite happy if they burn the seconds away tonight. Rangers not in a hurry at all.
Perfect for Rangers, absolutely. Wasn't the best delivery from Lyle Cameron. I think he felt as though Raskin was going to make that run to the front post, but the ball was short. Never like to see a corner hit the first man.
Tavernier bowls it infield. It's headed away by Douay, picked up by Vidra. His ball back the way. He's not great. They have emerged with the ball with Paluska. To sprint out to the right to get onto it as Diomande tries to win it off Cherv. Appeals to number 6, works it wide, and it's a long ball forward for Durasinne to chase. But Butland comes to the edge of his box and grabs onto it, just about on 14 minutes.
Seem to be looking at that pass quite a lot, trying to turn Rangers back 4, but the quality of the ball hasn't been there so far. That one's skidding through it to Butland yet again.
Both teams haven't used the ball particularly well in these early stages.
No, I'd say probably Rangers have kept the ball slightly better than Pilsen have. You know, you're expecting with the 3-0 down that there's going to be this avalanche of pressure from them at the start of this game. It certainly hasn't been that way.
Not the worst city in the world for the Rangers supporters to visit.
Nice wee place.
The beer capitals of the Czech Republic, maybe even Eastern Europe.
Lovely wee town.
There'll be a throw-in to Pilsen over on the far side. Midway inside the Rangers half. On their right, it's collected at the edge of the box. Rangers trying to get numbers back, and Cameron does well to get onto it because it looked as though Valenta was going to get some space to get a shot away, and eventually there is a shot from Jamelka, but it is wild and it sails high into the back of the stand there. It remains goalless.
Ambitious to say the least. What is he, 40 yards out, takes it on his chest, it sits up quite nicely. Just wondering whether he's got the technique for that type of effort. It went a good 5 metres over the bar.
There's a couple of the Panathinaikos centre-backs had a go in the second leg of that.
One better than
well.
the other, I remember. Yeah.
Ant-Man out to Cameron on the left. Gassama infield. Gassama in possession, squares it to Diomande, who does likewise to his left for Raskin. And out to Jeffy on the touchline. Back to Nicholas Raskin and Suter, and now it's Diomande. Slips it to his left for Jeffy, swings the ball in with the left foot, and it sails across the 6-yard line harmlessly, and out for a Pilsen throw-in deep inside their own half. Pilsen are 3-0 down in the tie. They don't look like they're in a hurry.
No, they certainly don't. Jeffy there, I mean, I don't know if he needed to cross the ball. Could have just kept possession. He was more floating it into an area rather than trying to pick anybody out. Wasn't his best delivery. No, I was expecting, or was I expecting more from them? I'm not sure if I was, having watched them last week.
Well, you would have maybe expected them to be a bit more high octane than they have been.
Yeah, perhaps.
They don't look like a team that's trailing 3-0. And Suter shifts it back to Butland. Low ball out to Tavernier on this near side, and then he dumps it into the midfield. Dessers can't get onto it. Picked up by Cherv. And now it's with Adu. He's trying to turn away from Tavernier. Forward to Durasinne, and then back to Adu, left of the D, looking for space to shoot, and he goes in. He goes down inside the box, and the referee not interested in the Pilsen appeals. It stays goalless on the night. 3-0 Rangers in aggregate.
No wonder. The ref was in a great position. You can see what the big guy was trying to do. He tries to just flip-flop between the two centre-halves, but as soon as he feels the slightest bit of contact, he throws himself to the ground. He did it well initially in terms of keeping hold of the ball and bursting into the box, but then fairly obvious that he threw himself. Good refereeing.
Poor touch from Tavernier, and his next touch was a foul, so free kick Pilsen, which is left of the centre circle in the Rangers half. Russell Martin down there, just taking a drink from his water bottle as the ball is swung into the Rangers box. It's way too close to Jack Butland. and he holds on comfortably to it. It's played out short to Jeffy.
Spatchel this time with a delivery. Again, really not good enough. Far too close to Jack Butland, who's looked very commanding in this early part of the game.
Dessers out to Ant-Man on the right. Rangers now in the attacking third themselves. Just to the right of the D is Ant-Man. Plays it back to Raskin. Looks for an option in Rangers colours ahead of him and decides the best route was to go back the way to Giga. He plays it onto the halfway line for Suter. To the left for Jefty. Driving forward, brilliant play by Jefty. He shoots at goal, doesn't really catch it though. And it's a relatively comfortable save down low to his left for Jedlicka.
He did well, Jefty. Really positive run, driving at the Pearls in midfield and defence. Worryingly for them, he was just kind of left alone to do so. Doesn't catch the shot.
Meanwhile, Memic up the other end. It's a cross, fire right across Jack Butland's goal frame. But it's beaten everyone, including Durasinny, who was desperately trying to get in the end of it. Well, there was plenty whip on that cross that came in from the right, and it sails out the reverse side for a Rangers throw-in.
Yeah, he played it really early, and I think that's probably what's caught Durasinny out. Just wasn't quite ready for the cross, but that was their best delivery of the evening so far as we push towards 20 minutes.
Tavernier back to Giga, clears, but it's not a great clearance, and Pilsen could be in here with Vidra on the turn inside the box, having had it played through to him by Jamelka. Rangers clear. It's come all the way through to Dessers. He's managed to get it through the legs of the defender. Ant-Man can't get onto it though. And Pilsen back in possession with Paluska, the left-hand side of his own box, and goes back to his keeper.
Well, his arm seems to be okay. Dessers, he's certainly using it there to hold off Dubé. Terrible defending from Dubé, right enough.
Yeah, it looked like Dessers was going to have to come off early on. As Pilsen come down the right-hand side, a long, deep ball, which, again, beats everyone in the box and goes behind for the goal kick to Rangers, to be taken by Jack Butland. But there's no doubt Russell Martin will be happy to have got to this point in the second leg without Pilsen getting something back.
Yeah, I think he'll be happy that there wasn't the intensity and the Pilsen attack that we thought there was going to be in the opening 20 minutes of this match. Again, just a severe lack of quality from them, floating a big high ball into the box. Hopeful more than anything.
The winners of this, of course, play the winners of one of those other games we played tonight, Bruges against Salzburg. That is a 6:30 kickoff. That's going to be getting underway in the next 10 minutes. Here's Cameron, out to Ant-Man on the right-hand side, tries to go for goal with the left foot. The shot is blocked, spins up into the air, and then headed away by Valenta. Picked up by Adu on this near side. And then given away as Adu goes down, but he was being fouled by Ant-Man, says the referee. The Pilsen free kick, midway inside their own half. Yes, Club Bruges 1-0 up on Salzburg going into that second leg tonight. The winner of that plays the winner of this. And there's plenty more European action to come later this week. On Thursday, Dundee United 2-2 with Rapid Vienna. That's a 7:45 kickoff at Tannadice. Hibs 2-0 up on Partizan Belgrade. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff. And coverage of that here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland, across the BBC as well, of those Conference League third qualifying round second legs.
Adu did well there, winning his team a corner. Chance for them to put a ball into the box. Their deliveries so far have not been anything to write home about, but an opportunity now to put Rangers under a wee bit of pressure from the corner kick.
And midfielder Matai Valenta over to take it on the Pilsen left. A lot of players bunched up at the back post as the corner comes in. It's headed down, goes well wide, down into the ground. It bounces behind for a Rangers goal kick. And they just don't seem to have the quality that you would expect from a side that finished second last season, ahead of Sparta Prague, for example. Rangers giving it away. Memic driving down the right. He's got to the byline. He's won the corner. Needless ball out of defence from Rangers, and it was something that we saw from them in both legs against Panathinaikos in the last round.
They don't need to be putting themselves in situations where they're putting themselves under pressure, and Jeffy just taking a heavy touch, inviting the challenge from Spatchel, who then does well to get to the byline. Probably could have done better to pick somebody out, but they've won the corner.
Outswinging corner in towards the penalty spot area, where it's met by the head of Suter, who clears. And Memic picks up, good play onto the right foot, shoots wide by about 3 or 4 yards. And I was swerving away from goal. It had been swerving the other way, it might have caused Butland a problem. But in 23 minutes, it remains Pilsen 0, Rangers 0 on the night, and 3-0 to the visitors on aggregate.
As soon as he hit it, you could tell it wasn't going to go in. We were right behind the shot, Liam, and as you said, he cuts across it, and it was always drifting to the right-hand side of Jack Butland's goal. He dived, but I think he didn't really need to ball up.
Spatchel on this near side, plays it forward, cut out by Diamonde, but it goes back into the Rangers half. Eventually all the way through to Butland at the edge of his box, who rifles it high, forward it goes. Desser's giving chase after Douay headed it back towards his own goalkeeper. The danger was read by Paluska though, and he's able to clear. And for just a second there, it looked as though Cyril Dessers might well be in on goal.
It did. Not overly convinced with Douay so far in the early part of this match. Whenever he's involved in a physical battle with Cyril Dessers, he's come out with a second prize, and on that occasion there was very lucky with short header back to his goalkeeper. Eventually the covering defender had to just sweep it away.
Here's Tavernier picking up and just up towards the halfway line, drives into the Pilsen half. Forward it comes to Diamonde, flicks it with the outside of the left boot, looking for Dessers. Cut out though by Paluska. And then a little dink out of defence from Jamelka, finds Vidra on this near side. And it's back in field with Valenta and Vidra. Ball up the line for Spatchel, infield to Adu. Vidra gives chase, Tavernier nicks it away from him and into the centre circle. Raskin picks up and goes back to Jefte. And then into the Pilsen half for Raskin. Short ball along the grass to Giga. Infield for Tavernier. Ant-Man on the touchline if he needs him. Instead he tries to pop it through to Dessers. Back against Douay. Dessers to the byline. He's just out-muscled in the end by the big Pilsen defender. And it'll be a goal kick to the home team.
That was the first time that Douay's managed to defend the situation well. I think maybe Dessers showed too much of the ball to him. It's a nice pass into his path. He just showed the defender too much of it and eventually ran it out the pitch himself for the goal kick. I mean, Rangers aren't playing particularly well, but they don't have to.
Chance here for Spatchel, driving into the Rangers half, up to the midway point of it, rolls it to the overlapping Vidra, gets the cross in, it's just a bit too high for Durasimni, and it pops out to the far side with Memic. Keeps it in play down by the corner flag. Played across by Durasimni, couldn't find Adu, it's blocked and cleared by Suter. And Pilsen will come again. They know if they can find a goal, there's a very different complexion on proceedings. Cherv trying to work the 1-2, the angle of the box, Rangers clear. And here they come again, Spatchel, short ball to Jamelka, out wide left for Adu. The left angle of the box, rolls it to Cherv, shuffles onto his left foot, shoots, and Butland saves. Right at him, and that was swerving at the Rangers goalkeeper. Memic picks up the scraps wide on the right, takes it to the byline. His cross is deflected behind for the corner. It's the sense that Pilsen are beginning to up the ante a little bit here.
Well, that was their best opportunity in the match so far. Cherv really catches a shot on his left foot, and he did cut across it, and you could see the ball moved in the air about a foot from right to left, and Butland had to be sharp to change his positioning of his hands and beat it away. But then, in the resulting bit of play, the ball was put out for a third corner in the last 3 minutes.
Valenta will take this one, this time in the Pilsen right, outswinger with the right foot. So they attack the goal to the left, and it comes, beating a couple of players on his way through to the goal, and Butland has to tip it over. The pressure remains, 27 played, 0-0. It's been better from the Czechs.
Yeah, it wasn't the best delivery I've ever seen, but it seemed to flummox the Rangers defence. I think it ends up just coming off the Spatchel rather than him knowing anything about it, but Butland taking no chances, tipping it over the bar, yet another corner.
And another chance for Valenta to deliver. Into the box it comes, and there are 3 Pilsen players rose for it, goes over the bar. It might have been Dway who got the final touch onto it, but it's for Rangers. It's a goal kick, and just that little storm that they faced in the last few minutes has passed without Pilsen scoring.
Well, that was a better delivery this time from the right-hand side, and Dway probably a wee bit disappointed because he gets the run on his marker. Could not keep the header down though.
Butland takes it out of his box and hits it forward with the left foot, looking for Dessers. It's away from Dway. Cyril Dessers driving forward. Dway barges him to the ground in the box, and the Rangers striker is waved to his feet by the Polish referee.
Well, he does kind of go in a wee bit from behind. I wouldn't have said it was completely shoulder to shoulder. Dessers hits the deck, but I don't know, maybe not enough for a penalty kick.
Yeah, the Van Persie thing, the fourth official, I'm having
Are you
it.
seeing it?
Yeah, I
Are
think
you
I
having
can
it?
see it, yeah.
Excellent.
I was hoping he didn't look like him at all.
Well, I wasn't going to bring it up on air. I was going to bring it up
but
later on when we get back to the hotel, but I thought I need to just let you know about it. I'm glad that I have.
Suter for Rangers into the centre circle for Gassama, who's tripped to the ground. Rangers free kick, yellow card is out as well.
Smart turn from Gassama on the halfway line, taking it with the outside of his foot.
Kaluska booked.
Yeah, does the defender, and then he was actually away at that point, so Kaluska left with probably no option other than to pull him back, but he's in the book now. I don't know if Gassama's seems to be staying on the deck. I didn't see anything that would have injured him from this distance, but he'll be all right.
He's the man, isn't he? And
he's done well
in this Champions League qualifying campaign for Rangers. There's 4 goals, 2 of them coming in the first leg last week. Raskin takes the free kick and just rolls it back into his own half for Giga. To his right for Tavernier. We are approaching the half hour in Pilsen. It remains 0-0 as Diamonde tries to work the 1-2 with Ant-Man. It goes wrong, and now Spatio up the line looking for Adu, cut out by Tavernier. Ant-Man's ball into the midfield. Raskin to Cameron, back to Raskin, looking for Gassama, who's back on his feet. He's overhit the pass, and he goes out for a Pilsen throw-in over on that far side.
Just a couple of slack ones from Rangers forcing the passes. Yeah, they're put under a wee bit of pressure, but not particularly good in terms of keeping the ball.
It's the Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Champions League third qualifying round, second leg action here in the Czech Republic, with Rangers 3-0 up on aggregate after last week's first leg at Ibrox, and in a very handy position with regards setting up a playoff. And when you saw they were drawn with Panathinaikos at the first hurdle, you did think it would be odds against that Rangers would make it to the league phase of the Champions League. It still feels for them like such a long way away, even though they've got just the one more round to negotiate if they can come through tonight. Ant-Man picks up central position, rolls it to the edge of the Pilsen box to Dessers, back to Tavernier, into the box for Cameron, who volleys for goal and hooks it over the bar. It was a decent take by Lyle Cameron. He was on his way to ground when he controlled it. It went up into the air. He's run about the penalty spot, and he tried to manipulate his body in a way that could potentially bicycle that one into the top left, but it was over the bar. Goal kick Pilsen, and it stays 0-0.
He didn't have too many other options. The ball in from Tavernier, when he took his touch, it bounced way high up into the air. He was then going to be under pressure. He was back to goal, so he went for the kind of overhead hook, if you like. It probably went a couple of feet over the bar, but it was inventive enough for a moment. I mean, the game's not been great in terms of quality or visually. It's not been a brilliant game to watch so far.
Spatio driving down the left, midway inside the Rangers half. Out it goes to Adu. He's level with the penalty spot. Now he's level with the 6-yard line. Pulls it across. Cut out by Giga. Adu will keep it in play down by the corner flag off to our left. Onto his right side. Drags it back onto his left. And he's just been left to roam down to the byline. He chips it across, and Butland holds on. I'm not sure if there was a misunderstanding between Tavernier and Giga there, because Tavernier's having a real go at one or two players. Diamonde was involved in that too. They just seem to leave him. Here come Pilsen again, up to the edge of the area. It's Vidra Well defended by Suter, and then surely a foul it was by Vidra on Jefte, and that will be a Rangers free kick at the edge of their penalty box.
Yeah, I think that Tavernier had either shouted to Giga to take the man, he didn't, and then Adu was left all on his own to put a cross into the box on his left foot, but the quality again was woeful, straight into the arms of Jack Butland. And then yet another foul given away by Viktoria Plzeň.
We'll keep you up to date as we go along on what's happening in Belgium, in Bruges, Salzburg. 0-0 in the very early exchanges there.
Well, one thing's guaranteed, it's going to be a much bigger test than this when Rangers play against whoever goes through.
Yeah, you would think so. As Tavernier bowls it back to Raskin. He's back to his goalkeeper. Short ball, Butland to Giga, and then
It's
that's
not
when
convincing.
playing it out from the back goes wrong. Memic with the cross from the right. Are Rangers going to be made to pay for that? Not at the moment. Rangers get it half away. Cherv touching it back there to Jamelka. Out wide right it goes. Memic, it's a good ball, and the header from Vidra is closer to the corner flag than the goal frame. And it's a good job from a Rangers point of view that he didn't hear Duracimni shouting for it, because he was in a much better position. It stays 0-0, 11 to the break.
Yeah, and that chance comes from the initial giveaway. Rangers trying to pop it about in their own 18-yard box, don't get it right. And the delivery this time was good. I could see what Vidra was trying to do. He's trying to header it back across goal, but yeah, got it all wrong with the direction of the header. Yeah, Plzeň were to get a goal before half-time, it would really lift their tails going into the second half, but just the final bit of quality is really lacking.
No real chances of note for Rangers either, but they don't need to score tonight. That's the difference. There's Cameron out to Gisama. He tried to weight it back towards Cameron. But too much on it again, and it's right through to Jedlicka. The Pilsen keeper plays it to his left, and eventually it's out with Spaccio on this near side. Laid back there to Jamelka, infield to Dway, forward. He pushes it to Valenta, back to Dway, and out to the right for Paluska. And then Memic up the touchline in the Rangers half. Looks for the big switch, he's done well. He finds Spaccio, he tries to head it infield to Adu, who's on it here. Ant-Man battling with him. Adu emerges with it though, and then tries to take Ant-Man on again. And then there's a foul by Adu on Ant-Man, and that will be a free kick to Rangers, deep inside their own half, to the right of their own box. And it stays Viktoria Plzeň 0, Rangers 0 on the night.
Yeah, it's a handful. Adu battles away up there, but when he's got that last bit of decision making to do, that last wee trick, the last cross, the last action in his move, then it's breaking down for him. A lot of the balls come to him down this left-hand side as well, but so far not just at the quality that's required.
Butland takes the free kick on 36 minutes, but he's put it straight into touch. It's actually not been a match of high quality at all.
No, it's not, Liam. It is not.
You consider the competition that they're both trying to qualify to, or for. That's the kind of thing that's going to have to be upped big time. I mentioned earlier that both these clubs put together dreadful Champions League campaigns the last time they were in the tournament. Pilsen's was extremely marginally better on a single goal, because they scored more than Rangers did. There's a foul on Ant-Man in the centre circle. A free kick to Rangers here, but the clock's ticking down, and Butland's not had too much to do with regards to saves.
Yeah,
he's at one really powerful shot that he dealt with straight at him.
Yeah, I mean, they don't need to do more than they're doing, really. I mean, it would be nice for them to go and play some quality football in the second half and get a goal and win the game, but they're not being tested too much, and they're not really having to do too much of their own in terms of being overly creative, so the game's just at a wee bit of a stalemate. As you rightly point out, it's not been looking enthralling.
Pilsen's best European performances have seen them reach the last 16 of the Europa League on 4 occasions, including last season. They were beaten by Lazio as Adu tries to get away from Tavernieri's in the box, and somehow he's fired it wide of the near post. My goodness, you're fully expecting the net to be rippling there, and quite how Rangers are not 1-0 down on the night is anyone's guess, and perhaps even Prince Adu doesn't have a clue how he's failed to convert that one. 7 minutes from half-time, Viktoria Plzeň 0, Rangers 0.
Well, at the very least, Liam, he's got to hit the target. I mean, he goes narrow this time, and the ball played in behind the Rangers defence far, far too easy. It's then left with Tavernier to try and match him. He's out-muscled and outpaced Tavernier. He's then just got to show a wee bit of composure in the final action again, and he blasts it wide of the target. Big let-off for Rangers, that.
Biggest chance of the match so far. It's the Samak that's caught in a ankle over on the far side, and despite being in comfortable possession, for some reason it's squirmed over the line, and Pilsen have a throw. It's bowled into Cherv. And down the line for Memic. Back to Paluska, long ball with the right. Too high for Durasimni. Vidra chases, Chiga gets it back to his keeper. Butlin launches it forward with the right foot. It's now with Ant-Man, his touch for Cameron is wayward. Pilsen are back in possession with Spaccio on this near side. Out onto the left side, Adu returns it there. The underlapping defender Yemelka, but too much on it again. It goes behind for the goal kick. 0-0.
It's just bad. It's just bad. I mean, it's a very simple pass to release the underlap and full-back down the wing, and he's kicked it out for a goal kick, and Rangers just lapping that up because this team in the final third are not good enough to really... I mean, if there are problems for Rangers, then it's going to come from them not doing their jobs properly. It doesn't look like we're going to get a moment of quality from Pilsen that's going to open up.
And the Rangers have successfully negotiated qualifying for this tournament just once in their last 6 attempts at doing so. Lost to Kaunas, Malmo a couple of times, PSV, Dynamo Kiev last year. They did beat PSV in the playoffs under Van Bronckhorst the year before the Dutch side exacted revenge on them. Michael Beale in charge by then. As that long ping ball left to right finds Memic. Jeffy slips. Memic is in the box, pulls it back, and it's in the net! Durasimni fires it home! And suddenly, there might be a tie on here. Rangers have conceded, and the pressure pays off for Pilsen. Down the right-hand side they came. It was fired across, and Durasimni breathes new life into this tie for Viktoria Pilsen. They lead 1-0, and Rangers' aggregate lead is cut to 2 at 3-1.
Well, the game needed it, that's for sure, Liam. Not the best defending from Rangers down the left-hand side. Jeff Degasama, and when Spaccio gets in behind, he lifts his head. He's got the presence of mind to fire it across the face of the box. And there was Durasimni with a very simple tap into the net from 6 yards, and that does change the complexion a wee bit in this game. Their tails are going to be up. A brilliant time for them to score.
Oh, and they're coming again here. Memic down the right, up against Jeffy once more. Chip ball comes in, it's a poor header away, and the effort from Vidra is so tame. There was no flag either, and he's goal side of the entire Rangers defence.
Well, it's a brilliant knockdown from Durasimni from the diagonal ball. It lands at Vidra's feet. He doesn't really manage to get himself set and snatches the shot, but another massive warning sign for Rangers.
I don't think too many were giving Pilsen a chance, but when it comes to not just Scottish football, Scottish sport, it's never as easy as you think it's going to be. And that may well end up being the case for Rangers here. That goal going in on 41 minutes. You just got the sense that it was coming. Pilsen put the pressure on.
Yeah, they'd had moments of pressure, Liam, without a shadow of a doubt, and Rangers have not played particularly well in this first half. But I just felt as though they didn't have the guile to get the job done, but here they are.
Cameron does well to retrieve a situation after Jeff to give it away, but long ball, as Pilsen got back onto it, out to this left-hand side for Adu, is too high. And it was out for a throw into Rangers on the near side. Well, this is where last week's result is so important. It's tough game, you know. It doesn't matter the performance of Plzeň last week. They're obviously better than what they showed in Glasgow. They haven't been much better this evening, but what they have done is they've asked Rangers a question, and they didn't do too much of that last week. There's Dway striding out of defence, out to the left for Adu. Goes back to Spaccio. Forward to Adu, just in the Rangers half. Forward for Durisimni, he's fouled by Giga. Plzeň have a free kick here. It is about level with the edge of the centre circle in the Rangers half. And Rangers right now just trying to get in at half-time without the damage getting worse.
100%, Liam. They do not want to concede again before half-time, that is for sure. Giga just getting far too tight to his marker, and they've got everybody up for this. This has gone into the box.
Valenta rolling it out to the left. Spaccio into the box it comes now. There's a header at goal, and Butland holds on. Sturicini again. It's on target. Butland dives to the left and makes the save. And it stays Plzeň 1, Rangers 0 on the night, and 3-1 to Russell Martin's team on the aggregate scoreline. But that is coming under a bit of duress now.
It is, Liam, and the ball in was excellent. Free header. It was quite a distance out, and I don't think it was ever going to really test Butland too much. Makes the save cleanly, but again, it's another effort on goal. Rangers just rocking a wee bit as we approach half-time.
Well, this is a crucial moment. This is the next 30 seconds plus whatever stoppage time will be added on. And with the injury to Dessers, and there was one for Bissama as well, so there'll be a minute or two added on at the end here. And Rangers trying to withstand whatever Plzeň have before the interval. Spaccio with the short free kick square there to Valenta, but he drifts the ball over the top of everyone and behind for the goal kick.
It's a poor pass. They try and move the ball to create an angle, but the angle ends up actually even worse, and the diagonal ball goes through harmlessly.
Two added.
Yeah, so Big Van Persie's got the board up.
Into the first of the two. And it will be Butland to take this, and he's in no hurry, and understand that. And launch it forward with the right foot. And both these teams have shown weakness domestically, even in the infancy of this season. Plzeň have conceded last-minute equalisers in each of their last two league matches. Before the first leg, they actually had their game against Boleslav postponed to allow them to concentrate on the first leg of this tie, which clearly didn't work. Played at the weekend, and they're leading this match 1-0. Antman collects and finds Raskin looking to get it through to Dessers out on this near side. Dessers tried desperately to keep it in, and he has done on his own for the moment, down wide right of the Plzeň box. Pulls it back to Antman, who finds Diamondi. Raskin to Cameron, the right-hand side of the D. And then it's with Antman again, back to Tavernier. To Suter in the centre circle. A square ball for Giga. Forward to Raskin, he goes back into his own half, but it's not a great pass. Giga's having to backtrack to get onto it, and he rolls it back to Butland, just outside his box. Long ball with the right foot's going to come all the way through and out for a goal kick up the other end. There's no imagination in that. It's just about getting as high up the park as possible and allow some more seconds to tick away from the clock. So about 10-15 seconds left.
Yeah, it's been a poor first half from Rangers on the ball. I don't think they showed enough at times. Certainly, I felt as though Antman and Gassama would have a bigger impact in the game than they have done.
Referee Marcinak blows for half-time in the second leg. And suddenly, Rangers could become embroiled in a battle again here. Coming to the Czech Republic with a 3-0 lead after the first leg at Ibrox last week. That 3-goal lead is now a 2-goal lead, thanks to Durisimni knocking home from Memic. A slip from Jefte over on that far side. Memic took full advantage, drove it across, and Dunasimne was there to smash it into what was an empty net with Butland caught at his near post. And that's given Pilsen hope and belief that they can still get through this tie. They're still 2 goals behind. Rangers still 2 goals up. Still very much advantage to Russell Martin and his players. But it could be a longer second half than they were bargaining on, because at half-time here in the Doosan Arena, it is Viktoria Pilsen 1, Rangers 0, and 3-1, the Rangers lead on aggregate.
Rangers in the UEFA Champions League qualifiers.
Live on Sports Sound.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Thanks to Liam McLeod and Stephen Thompson out in Pilsen for his full second half commentary to come. Ian McCall is alongside me here in the studio. Your overall assessment, Ian, of that first 45?
Well, I thought it was a really poor game. I didn't think Rangers, they didn't play that well, but I never saw a goal coming. I think the key to it was how early it was a really good switch of play, a really good ping out, and how early they did it. Caught Rangers out. After that, for the 5-10 minutes or so before half-time, they looked a little bit shaken. So I think Russell Martin will be glad to get them in. But I didn't see Pilsen scoring, even though Rangers, didn't threaten at all, didn't play that well. But the opposition aren't great. But as I say, it was a worrying last 5-6 minutes.
Talk to us about then the goal and what Rangers could and should have done better.
Well, it was quite hard actually, because Jeffrey should do better, but it's one of them, they're still trying to set up, and the boys just walked up and absolutely zinged it out the far side. It was a great switch. Jeffrey slipped, but that was only because of the angle of his run. He's just got to deepen a wee bit and run at an angle and not allow him a free run in. After that, they had numbers in the box, and it was just a matter of cutting it back. As I said before, one of the cutbacks, the most dangerous ball in football. The centre-backs couldn't do much about it. The key to it was how quickly they switched the ball from one side to the other, and Jeffrey not reacting quick enough, you're not smelling danger, to kind of deepen a wee bit and maybe a better angle of run, so he won't slip, so he won't need to dive in and just hold the winger up, hold the wide man up to allow cover in the centre area again. You can't say. If you include the last 5, 6, 7 minutes, then they deserve to be 1-0 ahead. But before that, I didn't think they did. Rangers didn't offer anything, but either did Pilsen, I didn't think.
I've always thought Jeffrey a bit naive, a bit raw at times. Sitting in here in the studio watching the game with you, you highlighted a couple of times the point that you were making pre-match about Cyril Dessers and just not holding that ball up.
7 times.
7 times.
7 times it happened. I've said before how much I admire him, and his goal record's fantastic, but if you're wanting to play a certain way, I think Cyril Dessers is best when there's acres of space to run beyond into. A couple of times it was knocked into his feet and he didn't hold it because he was already on the move to try and spin beyond. But there was two or three in the middle of the pitch when he's coming really deep to try and take the ball that he's lost it. There's potentially against better opposition is a problem. And my point is just domestically, when teams are sitting 10 yards outside their own 18-yard box, 15-yard, then your touch has got to be really good to link it to get out the other side. It's not something, I don't think it's, all players excel at certain, they've got different attributes. I don't think that's one of his. And tonight, he hasn't held the ball up well enough.
Stephen, your assessment of that first half?
Yeah, I would agree with what Ian said. It's in terms of watching games, I didn't think it was going to be that entertaining a game because Rangers obviously don't need to do too much. It was all about what Pilsen were going to do, and they've really lacked quality. Well, certainly did for, say, 35 odd minutes. Again, I did not see where a goal was going to come from. However, now that Rangers have conceded, there's a wee bit of energy in the stadium. You can see the players getting that lift going into the last 5 minutes of that half, and the job becomes not quite as mammoth for them now. They're in that changing room going, if we get a goal early in this second half, we're right back in this game. So it becomes a wee bit more of a dangerous situation for Rangers. I feel as though Rangers on the ball, there's been too many giveaways, losing possession cheaply, forcing things. Again, I expected to see more from Gassama and Ant-Man. They've not managed to get into the game as much as I thought that they might. And Rangers, as they have done since the season started, look vulnerable defensively on occasions. And this is not a team that's playing against them that are blessed with masses of quality in forward areas. But you're looking and you're going, you're thinking to yourself, there's a chance that they'll be able to score here, and you're just not overly convinced by Rangers defending. So I don't think Russell Martin's going to be happy with that first half performance at all. Again, I was expecting a really strong start from Pills, and it didn't come. But they've got their goal. I mean, it doesn't matter if you score that goal at the beginning of a game after a really strong start or just before half time like they have done. As I said, they're going to be in that change room really with their tails up, thinking we've got this, because Rangers haven't shown enough for them to be fearful of what Rangers are going to offer tonight.
Will the manager, Ian, be looking to change anything, Russell Martin?
I wouldn't have thought so. Not this early. I mean, I think Rangers can still score, but they need to, a bit more incisive and a bit quicker. And I hate using the word transition because, as I said, I used the word underlap before, and I've had pelters from two well-known Scottish managers at my text. But there is certainly space to be had, because as the game progresses, and it stays 1-0, Pilsen needs another goal. They'll push on. They have got pace in the wider areas. They could just do a bit more incisive with a bit more speed. They're certainly going. If Rangers score a goal, then that's the tie put to bed.
Well, the winners of this tie will face either FC Salzburg or Club Bruges in the playoff round for the Champions League. So last week there was a 1-0 victory away for Club Bruges, but Salzburg so far returning the favour. They're 1-0 up away at Bruges, so one apiece on aggregate in that game. They played 24 minutes of this evening's match. We'll keep you updated on that one. Just want to break away briefly for a couple of minutes. It looks very likely, Ian, that Lennon Miller will sign for Udinese. The understanding is that he's passed the medical. It's just a formality now, after, of course, months of transfer speculation. Talk to us about his qualities. I was listening to Ray Bradshaw on a podcast last week, and he said he remembers the day, I think maybe about 3 years ago, he was in off the ball with Tam Cowan, and you were watching a game. I don't know if Lennon had quite broken into the first team at that point, but you texted Tam during off the ball and you said, I think I'm just watching Scotland's next superstar. What did you see? What has this boy got?
Well, I mean, he was very young. I mean, he's only 18 now, of course, but he was very young then, but he had a maturity to him, and he didn't, well, to me, this was me watching, he didn't look as if he had a weakness. He probably wasn't physically robust as he is now, and that'll get even better. But I think one of the things I always think about a midfield player, most midfield players can see a pass. Mm-hmm. They can pass the ball reasonably well when you get to a level. The difference are the ones that see it quicker. And he, for me anyway, he saw it really, really quickly. He saw an opening really, really quickly. He was very athletic. I didn't really know whether he was a sitting midfielder or he was going to get forward. I had his dad Lee at
what was he like to manage?
He was a lovely big boy. I mean,
he is a great guy. Bit of a challenge.
He was a handful. But at that point, it was him and Mark Keller, just young boys coming through. But he was terrific that season for me. But we had a really good side then. But yeah, Lennon Miller, I don't know the boy, but I've been told by various people that he's an absolute gem of a boy to work with. And if the deal's going to get done, I think it's progressed Lewis Ferguson, hasn't it? And it's progressed one or two others. I think it'll probably do that, and Scotland can benefit. But he looks as if he's got we always want to pigeonhole midfielders into certain types, don't we, in Scotland, and maybe everywhere. But he looks as if he's got a bit of everything. He's potentially, for me anyway, he's potentially top class.
It's a great move for him, isn't it, Stephen? We all love to see Scottish players flourish abroad. It seemed fairly clear early on that would be his destination. It would be abroad. It was unlikely he was going to stay in the UK.
Yeah, I think so. And you look at the success that other Scottish players have had moving to Italy, then, it makes a lot of sense for him. I just love his composure. I love the way that he, his mentality, if you like. It doesn't seem fazed by anything, and he won't be fazed by this move. He's got an old head on young shoulders, and obviously those are all different attributes, but his quality on the ball is there for everybody to see. His range of passing is exceptional. Again, composure on the ball. So it's exciting for him, obviously. Really big thing to do, to move away from home and go to a new country, new culture, new language. But it'll be absolutely brilliant for him as a person. What an experience! What an experience for a young man to go over there and play in a top league. And hopefully he's able to shine, just like Lewis Ferguson and others have done in Serie A or in Italy when they've moved over there. But delighted for him. And yeah, you're right, it did look like that was what he wanted. He wanted to move away from Scottish or British football, and there's no doubt it'll accelerate and help his development even more. So brilliant, delighted for him.
Yeah, we're going to enjoy watching that one unfold. I think we're expecting confirmation either this evening or tomorrow morning. And just finally on this, as I said, the destination did seem clear from the start that it would be abroad. And I don't know if there had been interest from Rangers or Celtic. When you look at both these clubs and the teams right now, would Lennon Miller play in one or both of these midfields?
Yes.
Right now?
Yeah, I think it would. I mean, listen, I think there's strength at both respective clubs in that area. I mean, Celtic have got 5 in there for 3 places. You see tonight Rothwell's been left out, but I certainly think he'd be in and around the first team of both those clubs. I don't think it was going to be possible for Lennon to move from Motherwell to one of the top 6-8 teams in the English Premier League. I'm not sure I think he needs to take one jump first.
Like Aaron Hickey, for example.
Yes, and and the one Rangers and Celtic missed was Lewis Ferguson.
Yeah.
Particularly Rangers. I can't believe that the 200 grand Derek McKinnon's gone for. But I think if he does well at Udinese, I think his next step. I mean, you're not telling me Lennon Miller and his family don't want to play if Arsenal come in for him or if Manchester United. I mean, we're talking about. I think he might be that level, but you can't. I think you can't go.
Yes.
The jump from Motherwell to that is probably too much. So it's a great place for him to go, and I think it's been the path's been paved by the 4. Young Nicky Henderson's boy he's still there playing in Serie A.
Liam Henderson.
Yeah. So there's been 4, 5, 6 players. Obviously the big ones at Napoli have done so well, McTominay and Gilmour. So and that was a well-trodden path now, it seems, for Scottish players. I'm sure he'll do absolutely fantastically well.
We love to see it. We're waiting, Stephen, for the players to come back out there in Plzeň. It could be a nervy old half if Rangers concede again. In the first half hour or so out there, it could be under real pressure, couldn't it?
100%. Rangers are going to play better than they did in that first half, and I still feel as though the Rangers should be able to score in the tie, but they absolutely cannot concede early and give this team any more hope than they've given them. As I said throughout commentary, the quality from Plzeň is not high, but they've managed to fashion a few opportunities. They've managed to put Rangers under a sustained bit of pressure towards the end of that first half, and that has to be of a big concern to Russell Martin. So, I mean, I'm surprised. I'm surprised at the first half and how it had gone, because I did not see Rangers trailing to this team. But here they are, and it's a situation they're going to have to deal with in this second half.
I think, Ian, we were chatting earlier on, you say, look, it'd be ridiculous if Russell Martin was under pressure right now. But what is clear is the fans made their feelings known on Saturday against Dundee. As you correctly said, Dundee were very good that night, but Rangers were overwhelming favourites to win that game. I think it's also fair to say that Russell Martin wasn't a hugely popular choice from Rangers fans, so I always felt he had to hit the ground running. And I think given the 2 league performances so far, they've got obviously Allo in the Cup on Saturday, full coverage in Sports, and we've got no mics for you. The game against St Mirren we're now expecting is going to go ahead, and then they've got, of course, the Old Firm game at Ibrox at the end of the month. But he can't afford to crash out tonight. From 3-0 up, this would be a disaster for him.
It would be a disaster. Yeah, I mean, there's no getting away from it. I'm not sure that would equate to him being, of course, he'd be under pressure, but I'm not sure that would equate to him being under pressure for his job as early as this. But when you're 3-0 up against, the Plzeň and you've been so comfortable, and it's been pretty apparent that they, without being disrespectful, they're a decent side, but they're no more than decent. If they were to go out tonight, which I don't think they will, it would be, you're right, that it would be a disaster, and everybody at the club would be under pressure.
So Rangers 3-1 up on aggregate, 1-0 down on the evening. Just a reminder, the victors tonight will face either Club Brugge or FC Salzburg in the Champions League playoff round. That is currently 1 apiece on aggregate. Half an hour played tonight in Belgium. We'll keep you updated on that one throughout this evening. But let's get back to the match in Plzeň. Rangers against Viktoria Plzeň in Champions League qualifying with Stephen Thompson and Liam McLeod.
Yeah, Salzburg leading 1-0 on the night. A Rasmussen goal on 18 minutes. Around about the time Rangers were coming off the pitch here after that first half. And this is potential to be a much more stressful evening than the Rangers supporters were bargaining on. The Plzeň players are already back out, ready to go. But not one of the Rangers players has set foot back out on the pitch as yet. Will there be changes? Does he need to make changes, Russell Martin, at this point? Rangers taking on a side from this country for the 14th time. Last week was the 6th victory in the 13 meetings with Czech teams. The 4th time they faced a side from the country in the last 6 seasons, as the Rangers players do finally make their way back onto the stage here at the Dusan Arena. And against the side that finished distant runners-up to Slavia Prague last season. It's another one of the sides Rangers have faced in recent times. There were meetings with Sparta over the course of a couple of seasons too. Mixed results across the board. But what have Plzeň got up their sleeve here? Can Rangers get the job done and get through to the playoff? It is Plzeň who kick off, shooting from left to right in the blue and red tops, so the blue shorts, blue socks. Rangers in one of their change kits, mostly white with the red across the chest, blue across the shoulders and across the front as well. White shorts, white socks. That goes out for a Plzeň throw-in. No changes for either team at the start of the second half, and it's Paluska with a Plzeň throw-in. Just a bit level with the edge of the D of the Rangers box. It's down the line and out for a throw-in further up the pitch here, and it's probably going to be a bit level with the penalty spot.
Yeah, it's going to be a long throw from Dway. Again, we saw in the first half his throws dealt with really well by Jack Butland in the Rangers goal. He's taken it short.
And he has. He's going to get it back immediately, and then it's back with Valenta at the right angle of the box. Dway on the near side picks up, centre back at the right wing position, playing it in field. It's a really decent hit on the turn there over the bar though from Jamelka. And a goal from distance in the first half. That one was closer, but still over. And a minute in already, Plzeň have had an attempt on goal.
Well, they worked the throw-in short, and when it came to Jamelka at the edge of the box, he had a nice wee Cruyff turn. The shot was always going to go over Jack Butland's bar, but it wasn't miles over. And yet, you're right, an early warning for Rangers.
Butland in goal for Rangers. Back four there: Tavernier, Giga, Suter, Jefte, Diamonde, Raskin, Cameron, Antman, Gassama, Dessers. Plzeň as they were the first half as well. An Eadscan goal with Paluska, Dway, Jamelka at the back. Memic, Valenta, Cherv, Spatchil across the middle with Adu just behind Dudasini, their goal scorer, and Vidra. And they're up the pitch again here. It's another long throw possibility. Dway's going over to the far side to take the Plzeň left. Pulls it back to Valenta at the left angle of the box. Back to Dway's, cross is poor, cleared by Cameron. And the loose ball collected on the left-hand side, played to the right for Cherv. Poor ball in, headed away by Tavernier. Memic gets back onto it over on the left. To Dway, looks up, left foot cross comes in. Suter heads away this time. And out for a Plzeň throw-in on the far side. It'll be a long second half this for Rangers, Stephen.
Yeah, early pressure, only 2.5 minutes into the second half, and it's all been played in Rangers' final third. I would imagine this at the third attempt will come into the box on a long throw.
Yes, this one is. Dway bowls it in towards the 6-yard area. It's headed away by Suter. And out for another throw-in. Once again, Dway to take. This time it's short, gets it back immediately. Played to the left-hand side of the box for Adu. Back out to Dway. His cross is blocked by the first man, and Rangers get it half clear, but they're being pinned back against the ropes in the early exchanges in the second half as Memic goes for a goal. It's blocked by Ant-Man. Gassama tries to push it through towards Ant-Man again, but closing the door at the back there was Valenta. And it's picked up in the centre circle by Pilsen, but they've got a man, in fact, with 2 men down. And there's going to have to be some treatment here for at least one of them.
Yeah, I think they actually collided with each other. Somebody gets smashed in a tackle, and then they were trying to get up because Rangers were on the counter.
It's Memic and Vidra.
Yeah, they're okay, back to their feet. But
so actually, it doesn't look as though the medics are going to have to come on. And it will be a Rangers ball with a throw-in on this left-hand side. Jefte will give it back to Pilsen. And it's knocked back to the goalkeeper by Paluska. Jedlicka with the long ball forward, flicked on, helped on its way there by Vidra. Rangers clear, and it's Diamonde who knocks it forward to Ant-Man, who's going to chase it, but he's not going to get there. And Elka gets it all the way back to his goalkeeper. Played almost 5 second-half minutes. Pilsen leading 1-0. Rangers leading 3-1 overall, as Samson Dway turns it to his left. Jamelka. Down the line it goes. Memic wants it over on this near side. That's where Valenta puts it. Memic now attacking the right angle of the Rangers box. He's inside the area now. Drops the shoulder and across the face, a goal. It goes wide for a goal kick with Butland at full stretch. Had that been on target, he might have been in a bit of bother there, and Rangers could have been in serious bother if Pilsen scored again at this point in the match.
yeah, it was a good switch of play, wasn't it? From Pilsen out to this right-hand side. Memic gets it. He's only one thing in his mind. I think it was though he should have crossed it early, but he drives into the box to take on the Rangers fullback Jefte and smashes it right across the face of Butland, who was scrambling, and probably just as well that he didn't get a touch to it and it popped out into the middle of the 6-yard box. That was not far away.
Rangers looked so dangerous in the first leg last week. They simply do not look like scoring tonight. As we keep saying, as it stands, they don't have to. And I hope that remains the case. Imagine Russell Martin will be thinking about changes even at this point in the early part of the second half. Adu driving forward, challenged by Giga. Kept alive though, Valenta out to Memic. Right foot cross comes in, it's a header at goal. It's Adu and it's straight at Butland. Comfortable take. Didn't get too much purchase in the header. And it's a good job from a Rangers point of view that he didn't.
It is all Pilsen at the start of this second half. We thought this would come at the start of the first, but clearly they've got their tails up from being 1-0 ahead. They're into the second half, and they've started this half really well. Good ball into the middle of the 6-yard box. The header was tame though, straight at Butland.
Down the line for Dessers on the right side, but it's well defended by Dwayne. Was he fouled by Dessers? The referee doesn't seem to think so, and the Rangers striker's gone down, and referee Simon Marcinak is asking for the Rangers medics to come on to attend to Cyril Dessers, who had that looked like a wrist problem early in the first half.
Yeah, it's at the far side of the pitch from us, so I couldn't really see if he's been caught with a flailing arm in the face. The referee stopped the play really quite quickly. Physios are on.
Well, he recovered from the earlier problem, so he actually made a good run there, Dessers. He was trying desperately to get away from Dwayne, who's actually, I think you were having a pop at him earlier in the match. He's recovered pretty well, hasn't he? He's quite assured at the back for the home team.
I don't know whether the referee's pointing for a stretcher here.
We didn't see what the problem is with Dessers, but perhaps this time they will have to make the change. It was Danilo who was on standby when Dessers was injured in the first half. Still don't know of the long-term future of Cyril Dessers. Same with another couple in the Rangers squad, and there's been continued speculation about the future of Nicholas Raskin as well. Danilo is going to come on this time, so Dessers is going to have to come off, and the little buggy, golf buggy, has come on with a stretcher to help Cyril Dessers off the pitch here. So I think many people think Rangers do need to, I think you were discussing it in the early part of the programme, Rangers need to strengthen in the forward areas.
I'd say so,
and if Dessers is injured, then clearly that will become a more urgent issue. We're hearing it could be a knee problem for Dessers. Right. The good news for him is that He's on his feet, doesn't seem to need the buggy or the stretcher at the moment. As he waits now off the pitch over on the far side, and Rangers will make the change with Danilo coming on.
Well, he's got to hope this isn't a serious problem with his knee. If he's trying to get a move, or if he's trying to stay at Rangers, this could be a big moment for him. He's certainly been assisted by the physiotherapist at Rangers, walking very gingerly indeed as he makes his way all the way around the pitch to come back here to the opposite touchline.
Will be a drop ball then for Pilsen. Just got to wait for the buggy to come off the pitch, which it has done now. And Dway takes over the ball from the referee and rolls it back to his goalkeeper. We'll wait and see if Danilo can make an impact. It's probably fair to suggest that Danilo hasn't really caught fire in a Rangers shirt yet. And now a lot of that is down to injury problems.
Yeah, but I agree. I think he's trying to work out what it is that he's... Oh,
Jiga's had it nicked off him over on the far side. Valenta for Pilsen. Vidra's down, but they play on. Spaccio chasing down the left, but Raskin sees it behind for the goal kick.
Yeah, a wee bit slack there from Giga, giving the ball away. Pilsen couldn't do too much with the counter, but yeah, Danilo, is he an out-and-out goal scorer? Is he really quick at getting in behind? Is his link-up play good? I'm not entirely sure what it is that his best attribute is, but you're right to say he's not really impressed too much in that Rangers shirt so far.
I think Dway is going to have to come off here after us talking about how he's settled into the match. And they're going to have to make the change here, and Miroslav Kubek, who's the Pilsen coach, was bellowing for Markovic, who started last week's first leg. So, like-for-like change. And as we hear that Salzburg have gone 2-0 up in Belgium against Bruges before the half-time interval of that one. So they now, the Austrians, lead 2-1 on the aggregate there. And they're looking to set up a meeting with, as it stands, Rangers. It'll be Rangers-Salzburg as it stands. As Dway is withdrawn. And injury problems for Pilsen to deal with, having just watched
There'll be a
Rangers
fair bit of time added on at the end after the Dessers and the Dway injuries there.
On comes Svetozar Markovic, Serbian. He was previously at Partizan Belgrade, who Hibs will be facing in Conference League qualifying on Thursday with a 2-0 lead over Dundee United in front of a sold-out Tannadice. I would imagine Easter Road won't be far off that. I would imagine it will be a sellout. Two big European nights. And Dundee United, after their battling performance in Austria last week, at 2-2, Hibs 2-0 up. Full coverage of that to come on Thursday. Lyle Cameron for Rangers, the game back underway. Stephen says there will be a good few minutes of stoppage time even at this early stage of the second half. We can bank on that now. And Suter plays it to the right of the centre circle for Tavernier. Forward to Danilo, it's it back from Cameron. I'm sure he intended it. It's back with Raskin out to the left for Jefte. Infield to Raskin. And then Jefte rolls it into the centre circle for Giga. We'll turn it out to that right-hand side there for Antman, who we haven't seen that much of. No. Antman and Kasama just in the second leg, and they were obviously at the forefront of most of what Rangers were doing positively last week.
Oh, they were so influential last week, yeah. They have been quiet. And what those injuries have done is taken the sting out of it a wee bit.
There's Danilo looking to thread it through to Cameron. It's cut out. Danilo tries to get back onto it. Breaks to Tavernier. The left foot, low ball, out wide right for Mohamed Diamonde. He's level with the penalty spot. Infield to Antman. Back out to that far side for Diamonde. And then Giga to Suter in the centre circle. Raskin back to Suter. Back to Raskin. First time for Giga. This is the most passes Rangers have been able to string together for what feels like a long time in this match. They trail 1-0 in the night, 58 on the clock. They lead 3-1 on aggregate. Long from Butland, just goes over the head of Diamonde, breaks into the midfield, and it's knocked forward by the Pilsen goal scorer, Do This In Me. Now out to Memic on this near side, fires it across, and Adu is not far away from making contact at the back post. Rangers survive. It stays Pilsen 1, Rangers 0.
Yeah, it was another mix-up from Jefte. The ball gets played in behind, it's fired across the face. Vidra had made a decent bit of movement to check out for the cutback, but it wasn't seen by Memic, who flashed it across the face and looked like a good metre away. It was at full stretch trying to get it at the back post was Adu, but he just couldn't quite get there. You know, the start of this half, it was all Pilsen, and then those injuries just took the sting out of it a wee bit. Helped Rangers kind of get back on their feet, but another warning sign that Pilsen are not done yet.
I guess it naturally happens. It's why you always talk about why it's a good time to score a goal just before half-time, because if you concede it, you could quite easily be spooked by it.
Yeah, I agree.
Suter heads away, flicked on by Raskin. Now Cameron, and Diamonde was fouled by the Pilsen centre-back Jamelka in the centre circle, right in front of referee Marciniak. So Rangers have a free kick, and again it just runs a little bit of the clock down. Just about on the hour mark here. And the free kick will be taken by John Suter. It's just inside the Rangers half, dead centre, almost on the centre spot practically. Suter over it. Diamonde's made his run, clipped forward by Suter. It's not convincing defending. Diamonde's onto it at the byline. Pulled back for Danilo. Goal! Cameron tucks it home from about 8 yards out. And that could be a huge moment in this tie, as Lyle Cameron restores the 3-goal advantage for Rangers as they eye up the Champions League playoffs, and that might just knock the stuffing out of Pilsen. It is 1-1 on the night and 4-1 Rangers on aggregate now.
Well, it comes from the quick thinking of John Suter and the movement of Diomande. The ball over the top, it was really poorly cleared by the Pilsen defence, but Diomande kept it in well, right in the byline, plays it back the way to Danilo, who's, I'm not giving him the credit for that being a pass into Lyle Cameron. I think it was a shot that was scuffed, but it fell brilliantly into the path of Lyle Cameron, who stabbed home from about 7 yards. And yep, that can make Rangers breathe a lot easier now.
It's a massive moment. Lyle Cameron's first Rangers goal comes in the Czech Republic in Champions League qualifying. And now they can forget all about the goal they conceded before half-time. They are firmly back in the driving seat now.
Oh yeah, it changes the complexion massively, doesn't it, Liam? I mean, 30 minutes left, and we've seen enough from Pilsen to suggest that they're going to be able to score 3 goals in this last half an hour. I don't think so.
Yeah, stranger things have happened, but 4-1 up now with less than half an hour of the 90 minutes of the second leg to go. Rangers back in a position of serious strength in this tie. Butland launches it long with the right foot, headed away there, but it breaks to Danilo. He's on the turn at the edge of the box again, and he loses it. It's one back there in the midfield by Valenta. A loose ball by Memic, breaks back to Danilo. Infield for Diamande, and now with Cameron. Back to Raskin, spins away from Vidra, and back out to Cameron on the touchline. Infield, Jefte to Suter, forward to Raskin, back to Jefte. It wasn't a great ball, was blocked by Vidra, but it comes off the Pilsen skipper, and out for a Rangers throw-in on the near side. Major relief for Russell Martin, Stephen.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, looking at it, when Pilsen had that spell at the start of this half, they really had to score in those moments. Slack.
Yeah, Pilsen giving it away, and now it is a chance for Ant-Man to run forward. And he got caught in two minds there. He eventually tried to pass to Cameron, it was blocked. Ant-Man gets back onto it on the right, and he's been fouled over there by Spaccio, and Rangers have a free kick level with the edge of the D of the Pilsen penalty area, about maybe 6 or 7 yards from that far side touchline.
Just too quick, wasn't he, for Spaccio? Then he spun him quite nicely. Big centre half giving the foul away. And an opportunity for from a really good area for James Tavernier to show us just how good his delivery is.
Yeah, he's over this with the right foot, is the Rangers skipper. Huge line of players along the 18. And in it comes from Tavernier. It's a bullet headed away by Durasinne and out for a throw-in on the far side for Rangers. And that goal has clearly settled them down, and it's really taken the wind out of the sails of Viktoria Plzeň. Tavernier's throw-in into the box. Ant-Man's onto it, but couldn't find a teammate, but he has managed to win a corner. A good spell for Rangers, getting the goal and keeping Plzeň hemmed in at the wrong end of the pitch as far as they're concerned.
Absolutely, absolutely. Take an awful lot of pressure off those Rangers players' shoulders. Can relax a wee bit more on the ball now.
Tavernier with an out-swinging corner from that right-hand side as Rangers attack the goal to our left, and it comes headed away on the 6-yard line. Plzeň do enough. Valenta with the final clearance, but here come Rangers again. Diamonde out to Tavernier, swings the cross in. Blocked and cleared by Jamelka up into the air. The Rangers goal scorer Cameron gets something onto it and turned back by Kasama to Jack Butland, and I think Coach Kubek is going to go to his bench again.
He's going to try something, isn't he, Liam? He knows that time is not on his side at all.
The Rangers fans celebrating over on the far side to the right corner of the stadium, where they are boxed in on the rail. The segregation all the way around the away section here. Here come Plzeň with Vidra. He's going to get it back. He's at the edge of the box, looking for space to shoot. Raskin is enough to put him off, but he breaks to Adu, left-hand side of the box. His shot's blocked. Pings back out to Spazio over on that left-hand side. 1-1 in the night. Here's Adu again, driving down the left of the Rangers penalty area. Low ball across. Cleared by Giga, and out for a Plzeň throw-in over on the far side.
Taking it quick.
Yeah, Spazio to Jamelka. It's to the edge of the box for Valenta, but couldn't control it. Cameron wins it back off him and dumps it up the line. Down that far side, Ant-Man trying to get onto it. Spazio beats him to it and turns it back to his goalkeeper. As Plzeň tried to dust themselves down from the concession of that goal. This is Rangers 3 up again. Here's Adu picking up. I think he was onside there as well. Taking on Tavernier, gets to the byline, chips it across, but it doesn't get beyond the tall figure of Butland, who clutches onto it, and it stays Plzeň 1, Rangers 1 in the night.
He just lost his balance, didn't he? I mean, he got past Tavernier, but then he just got a wee slight nudge in the back, and he was falling over as he went to cross it. I mean, he's a handful as Adu, and he's had some okay moments, but ultimately his final ball has not been good enough.
There's Kasama down the left for Rangers, dancing into the penalty area as they look to absolutely kill the tie. His effort is blocked, and behind it goes enough to settle for the corner. Triple change for Plzeň coming up. I would imagine they'll try and defend this corner first, though.
It's just going to be a bit stretched for Plzeň. They know they've got to throw men forward, and they've left themselves open there. It was one of the first times in the game, or the only times in the game, that Kasama's managed to find space and time on the left. He drives into the box, tries to get the shot away. Behind for the Rangers corner, looks like it's going to be James Tavernier that will take it.
Yeah, he's in no hurry to do so. In swinger this time. There'll be a couple of changes for Rangers coming. Dowell and Rothwell waiting to come on. In comes Tavernier's corner. Suter tried to meet it at the back post, but one of the Plzeň defenders managed to get the slightest flick onto it, or it looked like they did, but obviously not, because it's gone out for a Plzeň throw-in over there. So changes aplenty coming for both managers, and for Plzeň it's the cavalry coming on as they try and find a route back into this. So I'll keep an eye on the subs here as we wait to see who Rangers are going to take off. I think Diamonde and Cameron are both making their way out to this near side. So that's the Rangers changes by the looks of it. Diamonde off, Cameron off, Dowell on, Rothwell on, Stephen.
Yeah, they put a lot into the game in terms of energy. It is, as we mentioned, really hot here. So I think Russell Martin just to get some fresh legs into the engine room for these last 25 minutes or whatever we have with injury time added.
Gerasimli and Memic have both come off for Plzeň, with Christoph Kabongo coming on. He's a regular starter. He's one of those who has made their way onto the pitch. Cheikh Souare has come on as well. He's a midfielder. As Kubek stands hands on hips down there, the Plzeň coach, and that is a triple throw of the dice. Difficult for them to come back from this, you suspect. And that Rangers goal was timed perfectly for them, wasn't it? Because it came after they were taking a bit of a battering.
Yeah, Plzeň had a lot of the ball at the start of the second half, created one or two half chances, then with the injuries, and then they kind of grew back into it again, another couple of half chances, and they really had to score at that point in time. So the Rangers' timing of their goal was perfect. Oh, that's a giveaway from Rothwell.
Adu driving down the right-hand side, level with the Rangers, 6-yard area, and it's turned over the crossbar by Kabongo, who was brought on to score, and he's done everything but there. It stays 1-1 with just over 20 minutes left of the 90.
Poor from Rothwell. I know he's just on the pitch, but really slack. The ball cut back to Kabongo. He's only 8 yards out. He's got to hit the target. Leaning back, it goes only a foot over Jack Butland's bar, but that was a right opportunity for Kabongo there. Again, he's just come onto the pitch, but hit the target.
Just about a full house here. It's 11,700 it holds, just over 11,300 in to watch this as the daylight fades and the skies above here in Plzeň. It is Gassama on the turn, lovely play, he's got space, he's got an option to his right, finds Ant-Man, plays it across towards Danilo, it's blocked, and eventually goes back to the goalkeeper who passes it out to his left for Jamelka. Should Ant-Man have hit it himself 100%. There?
100%. Time to take the touch as well. I mean, the pass wasn't brilliant from Gassama into him, bobbled it a wee bit, but he still could have hit it first time on the angle or taking the touch, as I said.
Long ball forward, it's Kabongo who flicks on. Adu can't get on to it, Suter does and hooks it back to Butland. He's taking his time over this, looks at the pitch ahead of him, but a dreadful ball out from him. Straight to Cherv, but he couldn't control. And Raskin blocked it, but here they come, Plzeň down this right-hand side. Havel, one of the subs who's just on, there's a header at goal which goes wide from Vidra. And Butland was panicked enough to dive to his left, but it goes well past the post in the end, and it stays Plzeň 1, Rangers 1 on the night, and 4-1 in aggregate.
Another chance that's come from Rangers giving the ball away. I mean, it's incredible. They're putting the pressure on themselves here when they really don't have to.
Oh, try doing that in the Champions League, in the actual competition.
Yeah.
There's another ball out of defence given away. Cherv clips it into the box. Well read by Suter, who heads clear. Jamelka just playing it short there to Paluska. The GFT wins it back and he's set Gassama away. Gassama now driving deep into the Plzeň half. He's up towards the edge of the box now. Danilo waiting in the middle, but Gassama can't find him. He's blocked. Kieran Dowell picks up the scraps, wide left, level with the penalty spot. Back to Rothwell. Infield to Ant-Man, to Rothwell again and out to Dowell. Jefty to Dowell, level with the edge of the D now. Infield to Raskin. He goes back to Suter, who'll play it across the halfway line for Giga. Looked like he was in there, Gassama, and Danilo was in a perfect position.
Yeah, he's lacked the conviction tonight that he showed in the previous European games, Gassama.
He goes Tavernier driving forward, having had it played into him. He pulls it back for Rothwell. Didn't quite make its target though. Plzeň get it away to Jamelka. And they come down that left-hand side. A little pass back the way from Cheikh Souare. And then a long one forward. It's a little tug there by Jeff. Needs to be careful. And there's an opportunity here for Pilsen, just at the right angle of the Rangers penalty area with Havel. The cross comes in and it sails behind the goal kick. Adu looks as though he might be done. And caused plenty of problems in the first half, the second half of the first half, and in the early stages of the second. Yeah, he's spark out lying on the deck there, trying to stretch some life into that leg. But the physios are on to see him, and surprised actually not being official water breaks tonight, because it's certainly hot enough. At least it was.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you do them at night time? Why are you looking at me like that? I don't know.
Because you were with me in Athens 2 weeks ago when they did it.
Right, okay, sorry, I forgot.
Adu being treated over on the far side. But Rangers have this tie under control again. 16 minutes of the 90 remaining.
Pilsen have had quite a few efforts on goal. Maybe not all of them on target, but they've got themselves into decent enough areas against Rangers tonight. But it's really, really poor in the final moments of decision making and efforts on goal.
So 4-1 Rangers in aggregate, as we were mentioning earlier. Club Brugge 0, Salzburg 2 on the night. The second half underway there now in Belgium. And it is 2-1 to the Austrians on the aggregate now. Winning 2-0 away from home.
Another giveaway.
Yeah, Vidra's onto it, edge of the Rangers box, turns it forward. A chance here, Adu, what a brilliant save by Butland. That's wonderful goalkeeping, because that looks set for the far corner. It stays 1-1 on the night with 15 minutes left.
Kind of sums up Adu's night. He's got to score that. He absolutely has to score that. But you're right, the save from Butland is out of the top draw. But yet another chance for Pilsen that was a giveaway from a Rangers player. They're asking for them to score here with the amount of times they're giving the ball away.
In comes the corner, and it's headed away by Suter. And then Gassama next to the head of the defender there, and Gassama's driving across the halfway line. He's on his own at the moment, just one defender back. Danilo coming up to help him. Gassama's at the edge of the area, looks to get away from the defender, but he fails miserably to do so. It's brilliantly done by Cherv, who was on his own there, the midfielder, but he dealt with Gassama well, spotted him away. Gassama's looking to the skies for answers now.
No wonder. No wonder. He's had a poor night, Gassama. Don't get me wrong, he was brilliant in the other European ties, really, really good, but for whatever reason, tonight he's been poor, and that was another big chance for Rangers. He seemed to not make up his mind and hesitate and slow down. He did have Danilo up in support, but he should have just opened his legs up and gone all the way himself to try and get a shot off.
Rothwell finds Raskin, who plays it out to Jeffrey on this left-hand side, infield to Suter. And Raskin to Giga. Short ball to Rothwell. Finds Tavernier. A little chance there, but he's got away from Kabongo and then from Adu. Then Jeffrey goes down on the halfway line, and Rangers have a free kick, and that will just eat away more of the clock. The Pilsen fans staying here to bat their team, more in hope than expectation now, though. Rangers already had 1 foot in the playoffs before they came here, but there was did get a little bit nervy for them.
Yeah, there was a 20-minute spell before half-time and after half-time in the game.
Jeffrey picks up on this near side and plays it into Rothwell. And back to Jeffrey on the halfway line, and then Suter, 77 on the clock. 4-1 Rangers in aggregate. Ball swept into the midfield, it's cleared, it's now with Raskin, through for Danilo. Plays it to his right for Dowell. Rangers looking to finish Pilsen off once and for all here. Wide right for Antman, level with the penalty spot. Knocks it into Danilo, can't hold off the defender, and Pilsen pinch it back.
Got to be stronger in there when that ball comes into his feet.
Yeah, Jelitska clears. Rothwell picks up the scraps in the midfield. Over to Tavernier. And then Rothwell fouled, free kick goes Rangers' way, left of the centre circle. Getting the job done here, and it will be 2 rounds negotiated, Stephen, and 2/3 of the way to the league phase.
Yeah, but as I said, the next game that they play is going to be much higher a standard, and if they give away the ball in dangerous areas like they have done tonight, it will not go unpunished like it has done tonight.
Bouncing ball there. Raskin has produced a foul of his own there, and that was on Valenta. So Plzeň will come again. This time it's been switched right to left. Cabon goes on to it, lays it out wide, and then the cross ball comes in. The header tipped over by Butland. Now, both Shooter and Jefty were there to protect the goalkeeper, protect their own goal at that point, but somehow they've had to rely on a Jack Butland save again, and this time it's to Dai Havel, the sub, who heads it down into the ground, and Butland tips it over.
Should score again. Really, I mean, this team should have scored at least 2-3 goals tonight. Poor between Jefty and Suter. It was good movement to get in between.
Here's Adu, he's away from Gassama, he's in the box, across it comes, it's blocked. Adu trying desperately to get back onto it. The ref spots a handball by Valenta, and that will be a Rangers free kick, but that's 2 opportunities that Plzeň have had here. And they're creating opportunities again, and I know it's a 3-goal lead that Rangers have, and I know there's only 10 minutes of the 90 left, but if they do score again here, it could become quite hard work again.
Yeah, I mean, Rangers defensively throughout the night have given up opportunities to Plzeň that again and again that they haven't taken. And he ghosted in between Jefty and Suter when the ball came in, headed it down into the ground. It's actually a decent enough reaction save from Jack Butland. Not as good a save as the previous one, the shot from Adu, but yeah, as I said, you give these amount of chances to a better quality team, they're not going to miss them.
Foul by Dowell on Vidra. Down below us, that 4 years at Burnley. Matai Vidra, amongst other clubs in England. So, free kick Plzeň. Valenta is coming over to take it. And we are in those final 10 minutes now.
Very high line from Rangers.
Square ball, which is going to be played back out wide right to Valenta here. Then infield, a little disguised ball by Sawari, and now it's Adu. He's got round Danilo, right-hand side of the 6-yard box, pulls it back and lashed over the bar by Vidra. And yet more frustration from the Viktoria Plzeň manager down below us. He's got his arms outstretched,
no wonder.
And he's saying, what have they got to do to score?
Well, they've got to stop missing the target for a start. Because again, it was decent play from Adu, using his strength in the box, cuts it back to Vidra. Again, round about that 6-7 yard mark, high over the bar. Their finishing's been awful tonight. There's no doubt they should have scored more than they have.
Well, they take their chances. This is going to extra time. But they haven't. And here they come again. And it bounces all the way through. Jefty's made a meal of it. Butland throws himself at the striker, brings him down. They want a penalty to the Plzeň fans behind the goal there. Well, Jefty caused the problem initially, and he's ended up hurting himself as he too tried to sort the situation out. I think he's probably been caught by Jack Butland, who just Superman style threw himself.
Yeah, he did. There was so many bodies in there. It was hard to see exactly what was happening, wasn't it? I mean, it was a bit of a stramash. The ball that came in didn't look as though it was going to cause too many problems, but then Jefty takes a touch towards his own goal. They kind of pounce on it, and it was difficult to see what happened after that. I'm presuming Butland gets a fist in and manages to clear the ball. There's certainly no talk of a VAR intervention.
No, it doesn't look like it. Well, I'm assuming it will be a Plzeň corner when all is said and done. In fact, it's gone out for it didn't go over the lines. It's gone out for a throw-in over on the far side. It's taken short to Kabongo. Suwari down the line. Kabongo has it here. Taking on Ant-Man, gets the cross in, free header and a goal! Plzeň score again, and it's the sub Markovic who heads it down past Butland. Rangers coughing up yet another big opportunity. This time, Plzeň take it. And they lead 2-1 on the night, but trail Rangers 4-2 in aggregate with the clock ticking down, 7 of 90 to play.
Oh, how much do they wish that they'd scored that goal 10 minutes before they did, with all the chances that they missed. There was an inevitability about the fact that they would eventually score again, given how many chances Rangers have thrown up in this match. Absolutely ridiculous amount of chances that they've given away. And this time, he'd be doing well to miss that one. The cross comes in, he's unmarked in the middle of the 6-yard box. Headers it down, and Jack Butland could not produce heroics again.
Well, Plzeň scored again the next couple of minutes. Rangers could be in big bother. I mean, 3 goals up. Going into as the yellow card comes out for Giga, I think it is. It was, he's wagging his finger at the referee.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit harsh. They were both at it, both big, powerful players. Anyway, chance to put the ball back in the box.
Rangers were 3 goals up with 7 minutes of the 90 to play. That's now 2. As the free kick comes in, Adu flicks on. Kabongo goes after it, shoots to the outside of the right. He's obviously got no left foot of note there, because that fell perfectly in his left side. In comes the cross, beats Adu, breaks to the back post area. A little chip back towards the penalty spot. Rangers get enough bodies in the way to clear. And now Gassama will take it for a run down the right. 2-on-2 at the moment. Others are arriving forward and back though. Ant-Man and Danilo in support. Not through to Ant-Man. Danilo's waiting in the middle. Across it comes. But it goes behind the reverse side of the goal frame.
I cannot believe the amount of chances that Plzeň have created in this second half. You're right. You're right to call that. Why has he not hit that with his left foot? I mean, he's on the angle, probably 7 yards out. It's sat perfectly for him. All he's got to do is get a shot on target. Tries the really difficult skill of hitting it with the outside of his right when it was never set properly for him to do that.
If Rangers defend like this in the Champions League proper, it could be even worse than their last go at that tournament. The way it's going tonight and against Panathinaikos.
Yeah,
clearly,
the defending's been
domestically as well
really poor. A lot of it is of their own doing as well.
Rothwell will get in ahead of 2 Plzeň players at the edge of his box. As Double looks to release Ant-Man down the right, and he is driving into space. Danilo's up in support. Gassama there too. Ant-Man finds Gassama, trying to wriggle away from the challenge, and he sweeps back onto his right side. Thought about the shot, gets some space, does shoot. It goes well wide. Low effort past the left-hand post.
Well, that's 4 counter-attacks that Rangers have had in this second half, when Plzeň have been completely overcommitted and they've wasted every single one of them. 2v2s, 2v1s.
Right, couple of changes for Rangers as we move into the final 4 minutes. Rangers 4-2 up on the aggregate scoreline as Ant-Man jogs off. Looks as though Gassama will be off too. Bayrami and Cortez will replace them for the closing stages.
Been the opposite of their performance at Ibrox last week from the 2 wide men. Gassama and Ant-Man both probably will be disappointed with their performances tonight. Certainly Gassama's not reached the heights that he had done previously. Can't be good all the time.
Short ball out the defence by the goalkeeper. And it is Paluskas turning it to his left. It's a long ball from Jumelka down the left. Adu giving chase. And the referee sounds the whistle. There's no flag there. I'm not sure what went on. Did it bounce up off his hand? Or
no, I think he just ran it out
of the touchline. Over the line.
Yeah,
it's a throw-in. And taken by Rangers and then knocked forward by Dowell. Too high for Danilo. Havel is turning it left to the centre circle. And then Markovic, who scored that second Plzeň goal. It's given them a sliver of hope in these closing stages of this tie. Long ball forward, Rangers win it back through Giga. Now it's Bayrami on the left, across the halfway line. Low ball infield for Rothwell in the centre circle to Dowell. Back to Rothwell, to his right for Tavernier. And then to Raskin. And this ball is straight out of play over on the far side. It's been a relatively poor performance by Rangers tonight across the board. There's been mistakes at the back. They haven't worked as well in the final third. They were doing those things so well at Ibrox last Tuesday. Just haven't been able to get into the groove for whatever reason. But at the end of the day, it looks like they might lose this game of football tonight. And so we're getting into the hat.
Most certainly is, Liam. And they got the job done at Ibrox, which they've needed, in all honesty.
Forward to Danilo. Touches it back to Dowell. And then to Jefty, to Rothwell. To find Suter on the halfway line, Raskin. Dowell down the left-hand touchline there for Bayrami. Back to Dowell. Forward to Jefty. Jefty in field to Bayrami. Bayrami has it pinched off him by Cherv. And it will be knocked away by Yamelka to the left-hand side of his own box. Cortez trying to keep Pilsen hemmed in as we tick into the 90th minute. Pilsen 2, Rangers 1 on the night. Rangers 4-2 up on aggregate. Cortez wins it on the far side. Chopped to the ground. Yes, he was. Free kick Rangers, and they will not be looking to take this one quickly.
But they won't leave. I mean, they've still got the board to go up. I reckon there could be a good 6, 7, maybe more. It's not over yet, but yeah, Cortez hacked to the ground there.
And there's been plenty injury stoppages, plenty subs made. So yeah, you would expect 5 minutes anyways. Stephen says it could be up to 7.
Well, I'll stick with 7.
Tavernier over it, right-footed, and it comes, but it's too close to the goalkeeper, way too close. And he holds on and then smashes it forward with the right foot. Adu's the only Pilsen player in the attacking third, but he's got a lovely touch onto it. Now he's driving down the left towards the byline. That touch wasn't as good, and it will be a goal kick as Stevens 7 minutes.
Unbelievable prediction.
Spot on.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that, again,
former Dutch international.
That's
there,
right.
Arsenal
He's my
legend.
friend, yeah. What a player. Both Shefty and Tavernier were that long ball up the pitch to Adu, not dealing at all well with the situation. His strength, his upper body strength has been excellent. He's worked ever so hard as the guy, but again, when he gets free, he just takes a massive heavy touch right out for the Rangers goal kick.
Which Butland takes. Rangers' next action is in the League Cup second round against Alloa at Ibrox on Saturday evening. That all gets underway with Celtic Falkirk on Friday. Whole host of really good ties across the 3 o'clock kickoffs on Saturday, including St Mirren Hearts, which I think Stephen's at.
Yeah, looking forward to that one, Liam.
And Morton Aberdeen. And a couple involving Hibs and Dundee United to come on Sunday, as they take on Livingston and Kilmarnock respectively. Full coverage on Sports Sound across the weekend, beginning at Celtic Park on Friday, and of course Conference League qualifying to come on Thursday. Rangers in possession with Raskin, who finds Tavernier on the far side. It remains, in fact, Bruges have scored to square that tie again. So Club Bruges 1, Salzburg 2 on the night, and 2-2 in aggregate. So that one's back in the mixer. The winner of that plays Rangers, because surely Stephen Thompson, as we tick through the stoppage time, and we've seen plenty mad things happen.
It's not going to happen
Surely Rangers are going through.
No, yeah. I mean, when Pilsen look back at this game and look at the opportunities that they've missed in this second half, if they were sitting with one of those having found the back of the net, going into these last minutes here, then this place could be a lot different. But unfortunately for them, they didn't. Unfortunately for Rangers, it looks like it's just going to be a bridge too far for Viktoria Pilsen.
Pilsen have a free kick. We played 2 of the 7 minutes that were added. Pilsen looking to make it a nervy end for Rangers. They're going to have to score pretty sharpish though if they're going to do that, but Rangers are winning it back. Cortez pinched it off Adu, now he's driving forward, and suddenly it's 3-on-2 in Rangers' favour. Others filing back for Pilsen. Cortez to the right by Rami, just a bit too much on it for Danilo, and he's to scamper out towards the corner flag to get onto the ball when he wanted it played right in front of him.
Well, that's about their 5th counter-attack in this second half that has come to nothing. You know, it's something that they maybe need to work on when they're in those situations. Really wasteful.
Jefty, they're going to pop it through towards Bayrami. Came off Suter. Didn't look like it was going to get to the Albanian, but it has. Down by the corner flag, and it's bumped off the defender and out for a Rangers throw-in right beside the corner flag, off to our left. The Rangers supporters already in celebratory mood. The first leg of their Champions League playoff, assuming there's no capitulation here, will be at Ibrox next Wednesday evening. So away from home in the second leg again, as it was in this tie and against Panathinaikos, as Tavernier picks up, needs to scoop it through towards Danilo, breaks back Tavernier's way, he's inside the D, shoots, it's blocked. Might come off Danilo. He's just cutting a really frustrated figure, Danilo. I think he knows the importance of this season with regards to his Rangers career.
Yeah, I mean, tonight it was a chance for him to show what he can do, and he's struggled a wee bit in terms of when he's had the ball at his feet, and then those counter-attack situations, he's not really gone and grabbed this opportunity, you would say.
Rothwell finds Bayrami. Rangers playing the final stages of this match exactly how they want to be doing so. I was about to say playing it in the Pilsen half, but they've gone all the way back to Butland here, whose clearance is charged down by the defender, who isn't able to control it. Breaks out to Soare on the left, who's driving down the line, but once again it had gone over the line, I think, for a Rangers throw-in. And just over 2 minutes of the stoppage time left. 2-1 Pilsen on the night, 4-2 Rangers overall. Since
they scored their goal, they've not really been as effective as they were, certainly in large parts of that second half.
I think I said Wednesday for Rangers' first leg. It's on Tuesday, beg your pardon. So it would be Rangers against Bruges or Salzburg next Tuesday. I'm doubting myself now. There's Jefty driving down the left. Early ball in, looking for Danilo. Again, there's too much on it. Breaks to Cortez. Rangers with a chance here just to finish things off with a flourish. But the cross is blocked. Breaks to Rothwell. Now Bayrami. Just outside the Pilsen box. Rolls it to Jefty. Then to Bayrami, level with the 6-yard line. Turns out towards the corner flag. Turns back in field. Cherv nearest to him. And it's with Jefty, gives it back to Bayrami. Bayrami's got Raskin on this left-hand side. Level with the penalty spot, rolling it under the right boot. Low ball in, goes through Bayrami, but Danilo's on it. The left angle of the 6-yard box, looking for Kieran Dowell. Can Rangers find an equaliser on the night that would at least boost the coefficient, which has been toiling of late? They don't need to score for themselves. And if they can score and take a draw, they would do that. A little favour as Tavernier does well, spins away, low ball in, but again too much on it for Danilo to be able to do anything with him. His shoulders are slumped, aren't they, with every
his body
ball
language
that
isn't great.
Pops through to him, he's unable to do anything with.
Tavernier did actually really well. He tries to put the pass through the eye of a needle into Danilo's feet, but he was stretching and just couldn't get a hold of it. Pilsen have gone here.
Bayrami infield to Rothwell, squares it to Dowell. Back to Suter, who finds Jefty. Out to Raskin on this near side, a dink ball forward for Bayrami. I make it, we've played the 7 minutes. The referee does as well, and it's all over. The Rangers lose on the night, but they are through to the Champions League playoffs, and for them that's all that matters. A couple of nervy moments tonight for sure. Lyle Cameron's first Rangers goal came at a brilliant time for them after Durisinme had given Pilsen the lead just before half-time. They were piling the pressure on in the opening 15 minutes of the second half. Then up popped Cameron. As he touched home, I think it was a shot from Danilo, but Cameron was there to loop it home with a foot. his first goal for the club. It was a massive one at the time for Rangers. And despite the fact Markovic pulled another back in aggregate with about 10-15 minutes to play, Plzeň coughed up a whole load of chances. They should have done better with the Rangers defence. Guilty of giving the ball away on many occasions. That's something they're going to have to sort out if they are hoping to be dining at the top table this season. And in the end, the Cameron goal kind of knocked the stuffing out of the hosts for a spell before that late charge. But they ran out of time, they ran out of chances, and it will be Rangers against Salzburg or Bruges for a place in the Champions League proper over the course of the next fortnight. It finished here in the Czech Republic. Viktoria Plzeň 2, Rangers 1, with Rangers going through 4-2 on aggregate.
Following Scotland.